And I'm Teo Torres. So, folks who live in the mountains, maybe the eastern foothills, you could see a little rain today.
A little bit, but not a ton of stuff to really talk about, which is, I guess, a little disappointing given the time of the year, Dirk.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have more, but still we have at least a little bit to talk about. We do have some changes. Cloud cover starting to roll in right now, and with that cloud cover will come an increased chance for some showers as we take that live look here in Sacramento. So a mix of clouds are expected. I think we may even get a little bit of sunshine this afternoon. That's going to help to bump our temperatures into the mid to low 60s, much like we saw yesterday. But there is that chance for showers, and that's mainly going to be just to the east of Sacramento. So on the east side of the valley, through the foothills and on into the Sierra is going to be the best chance. And most active weather is going to be in the mountains, where we will see a bit of snow as well. Satellite view showing us this cloud cover. It starts to thicken up a bit, and you can see some of the showers. It's just kind of falling apart, though, as it makes its way across the state. But still, that chance for precipitation is going to be there. Just like yesterday, where we had actually some pretty good downpours at times. I don't think we're going to see as much of that, but we will see the chance for occasional flurries in the mountains and those showers as well. Temperatures ranging in the 40s up and down the valley. We're actually warmed up a little bit in Modesto because of the cloud cover moving in. Daytime highs, again, low 60s is what we're expecting, with a forecast high in downtown Sacramento of 63 degrees. That's your weather. Now here's traffic with Brian Hickey.
Thank you, Dirk. We'll start out with our Davis commuters this morning. Taillights heading off towards Davis, headlights coming towards Sacramento, both moving in the speed limit there at both directions. Looking good on the causeway. Highway 50, no issues out of Folsom, along with 80 from Roseville in the Placer County area coming into downtown, and 5 and 99 from Elk Grove. Also incident free as you're making your way on that northbound ride. If you're heading south towards Stockton, no problems to report here. As you can see, everything in the green out across the crosstown freeway. Highway 50 right now is a 10-minute ride out of Rancho Cordova. Interstate 80 Roseville to the split should take you 9 minutes. I-5 an 11-minute ride out of Elk Grove, along with 99 as well. So enjoy the ride, Deirdre.
All right, community members are mourning the death now of a Calaveras County teenager who was killed in a crash. The fire department says that the head-on crash happened at 2:45 yesterday near Highway 26 at Shelton Road. Calaveras High School senior Lily Butler died in that crash. Another person was hospitalized with a head injury. The Butler family shared this photo with us. Butler was the Amador County Fair rodeo queen last year, also the daughter of a former Calaveras Consolidated fire captain. The cause of that crash right now is under investigation.
Well, new this morning, risky behavior behind the wheel. AAA's out with its annual Traffic Safety Culture Index survey.
KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo joining us now, taking a look at the startling trends that are outlined in that study.
Yeah, that study showing that more than half of all drivers engage in what's considered dangerous driving behavior when they're out on the roadways. That new data is just out overnight, and it examines the safety of our roadways nationwide. That new survey from AAA finds that more than half of drivers have admitted to dangerous activities while on the road. Speeding was the most common dangerous behavior drivers admitted to engaging in while driving, but about a third of all drivers say they've also driven aggressively or distracted. This new data comes off the busy Thanksgiving holiday travel period, and as the National Highway Transportation Traffic Safety Administration says, more than 19,000 people have been killed on the nation's roadways in the first half of this year.
So AAA's survey is self-reported data. These are behaviors that most people wouldn't admit to a friend or a neighbor, but were willing to admit in this anonymous survey, which means that they're almost certainly underestimates of really risky, dangerous, potentially life-altering behaviors.
Another interesting point from this survey is that only 4 in 10 of the surveyed drivers fall into what's considered the safe driver category. Reporting live in Sacramento, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
Thank you, Melanie. And coming up this morning on Today, NBC's Tom Costello is taking a closer look at this discouraging trend. That's coming up at 7 a.m. here on KCRA 3.
Well, new developments in a shooting at a Sacramento County nightclub that left the owner and another man dead. Staff of the Sacto by Night Lounge identified the owner as Bin Do. The business said it will close for 2 weeks to, quote, respect the loss suffered by both victims' families. They previously announced they would remain open. They say Do left behind a grieving wife and 3 children, the youngest 9 years old. KCRA 3 spoke to Joseph Tao, who worked with him, and says he will remember him as a friendly and helpful man.
Ben, when there's problems around there, he try to calm everybody down. He's the type of person that don't want no drama.
Well, family and friends gathered Tuesday night for a vigil to celebrate his life. Several people have been detained in connection to this shooting, but further details have not been released by the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office.
Sacramento fire crews mopped up an early morning dumpster fire. It happened near Alhambra and Broadway at around 3 a.m. This is some video that shows you the flames burning and being pretty close to a Domino's pizza business. No word yet on just how much damage there might be in that area.
Well, California Forever opening a new office in Vallejo today. It's after support for this new city project was difficult to come by during the first in a series of town hall meetings. Questions at that town hall last night ranged from concern about water to the impact on Travis Air Force Base. CEO and founder of California Forever outlined his pitch to the crowd, saying the whole idea is to bring more housing to the state and good-paying jobs to Solano County. Still, audience members in attendance did not seem enthusiastic.
I will attempt to go to all the other meetings and hear what everybody else has to say, but I think in this meeting it was pretty clear I didn't hear really any support for it. And some vocal opposition for sure. So it'd be interesting to see how other communities will respond.
The founder of the project says he plans to have a more detailed outline of what the city could look like by January. Ultimately, it will be up to Solano County voters on if construction moves forward. Well, the stage is set. Later tonight, Governor Newsom and Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis will debate each other on Fox News.
Brandon Cummings joining us now in studio with more on why it's happening in the first place.
Hey guys, good morning. So it's an unusual debate since the two governors aren't even running against each other in a political race, but they have spent more than a year going after each other on social media over a number of issues. The governors have differed on policy in almost every area, from the handling of the pandemic to abortion, immigration, LGBTQ rights, and education. But DeSantis is actually running for president, while Newsom has repeatedly said he's not. In an email to potential donors ahead of the debate on Fox News, Newsom's campaign said, quote, Governor Newsom is going to take the debate stage and tell something the voters of that network rarely get to hear: the truth about Joe Biden's record. We hope you'll tune in, end quote. Political experts we spoke to say it could set up a matchup in the future.
It's political entertainment. I mean, this is not going to move the needle in the presidential race 1 inch either way. It sets up for possible what might happen 4 years from now if these two face off. But for this race and this time, it's a nothing.
Now, Republicans say this is an opportunity for DeSantis to speak directly to California Republican voters ahead of the presidential primary in March. Tonight's debate does air at 6 p.m. our time on the Fox News channel. Sean Hannity will serve as the moderator. KCRA 3's Ashley Zavala will be breaking down the highlights of the debate. She'll have coverage for us tonight right here on KCRA 3. Deirdre,
all right. Thank you, Brandy. The holiday lights going up in homes all over the region, including the governor's mansion. Here's a look now at the Christmas decorations on the Now Museum in downtown Sacramento. Don't forget to share your holiday lights with us. You can send us your best photos and videos. Scan the QR code there on your screen, and we might even feature your display on KCRA 3. And big crowds are expected in downtown Lodi tonight for the Parade of Lights. We saw a bunch of empty chairs set out already on the parade route with people looking to save their spots. The holiday tradition features more than 80 floats covered in lights, marching bands, and dancers. That's pretty clever to put the chairs out.
Yeah,
it's like going to a hotel in Hawaii.
It totally is, isn't it?
Spot by the pool. The parade starts a little after 6 tonight. Other tree lightings and parades are going to be happening in Manteca and Davis, and there's a full list of all the tree lightings on our website. The QR code there on your screen will take you there.
Well, Roseville will also light their Christmas tree at the Vernon Street Town Square. Last night saw people tour the 30 smaller trees in the walkways of the square. These are decorated by businesses, schools, and organizations. Tonight's tree lighting will be at 6 p.m.